Vince, what is the best way to get clients in this day and age as a freelancer or a content agency owner? This is probably the most common questions that I get on Instagram and also in emails. And in this video, I'm going to go ahead and I will actually rank some of the most popular ways to get clients as a freelancer or a content agency owner in 2024 and beyond. So I know that this video will be slightly controversial, so I just want to give a big disclaimer that, this is just my 2 cents on this topic. By no means this means that if you're getting a lot of clients from a source that I'm not the biggest fan of and you're making a lot of money from it, that it's not a valid way to get clients. If you can make money with whatever way you are using, then it's good and you should keep it up. So nothing against you personally, right? Again, this is just my opinion. So without any further ado, let's jump right into it. So I'm going to start with one of the most popular methods, which is cold emails. And we have used cold emails at our agency to land hundreds of meetings and dozens of clients. And it has been by far, I would say, overall the most kind of consistent stream of leads and consistent stream of meetings. So I'm going to go ahead and put it into God tier. Now, a lot of people might be very shocked by me putting cold emails into God tier because they might have tried it, they might have sent out a couple hundred emails and they didn't get any results from it. So you might be thinking like, Vince, you are officially nuts, this actually doesn't work. Well, the thing is, it doesn't work if you're just sending out emails from your Gmail account to random people and you're doing it manually. No, like that might have worked a few years ago, but if you want to make it work in today's day and age, you got to use a software like instantly, you got to have multiple domains, and you got to do high volume. In just the last 12 months, we have sent over 100,000 emails from our Instantly account for the agency. So, that just really hopefully gives you some perspective on the type of volume you should try to do. So I will put cold emails as one of the best methods. If you learn how to do it properly, if you learn the software, if you set everything up, if you build out a team around it, you can pretty much fully automate it. You can get high quality leads from it as well if it's done properly. And again, the cool thing about cold emails is that if you can make it work on a smaller sample size, like a few thousand emails, then you can actually usually scale it, and it's a fractal pattern. Like if it's working on a smaller scale, it will probably work on a larger scale as well. So yeah, it's a great way, I think, for agencies to get clients. You just got to do it the right way. You just cannot be using the old techniques and amateur methods. I've actually made a video on this breaking down our entire system, so I'm going to leave that in the description below if you're curious. Next up, we have Fiverr. So Fiverr is definitely a very popular way to get clients for freelancers especially. And I'm not going to lie, I don't have anything against the platform as a whole, but I think advertising on it as an editor, it's not the best. So I'm going to put it into meh. Usually you will find lower paying clients from my experience and also from the people I've talked to who got a lot of clients from it. I'm not saying that it's impossible to get high paying ones as well, but it's usually those who go to Fiverr to get talent who want the cheapest, solution possible. So for that reason, I'm going to put it into the low tier. Next up, we have communities. Okay, so we have Discord communities, Reddit communities, even Facebook groups, any sort of communities in general. So I'm going to put communities into okay, and the reason I'm not going to place it higher than that is simply because of one thing. You will go through a lot of bad job applications, a lot of bad job opportunities. You might even get a lot of people who will ask you to do like free trials for them and then not do anything with it. In general, it's just, I think, a very not so time effective way to get clients. And not only that, but you also have a pretty high probability or chance of getting scammed in these. So I have heard plenty of horror stories of editors who started working for someone who they found in a community. They did like a month of work for them and they never got paid. So, for that reason, I'm going to put it into okay. It's definitely a valid way to land clients and find opportunities, but you have to be very, very alert and you have to sift through a bunch of, scammy job opportunities and things of that nature. And aside from that, also in these groups, a lot of people just spam, both people who are advertising opportunities and also people who are trying to get opportunities. So in general, I think it's just a bit of a toxic environment sometimes, and there's just a lot going on. So I'm not the biggest fan of it, but you can still make money with it. Next up, we have white labeling. So If you are not aware of what is white labeling or making money while working white label for someone else, it's basically, let's just say you have your own creative agency, right? You have a couple editors under you, and you start working for another agency, and the other agency sells the service to the client. So you're basically kind of like fulfilling the service on another agency's behalf. And look, you will probably have opportunities like this coming to you, especially if you have good service delivery as an agency owner. And you will have other agency owners coming to you saying like, hey, we can get you a bunch of work. I will get you 100 videos per month. You just got to do it at this price point. And usually what will happen is they will try to compensate you with the amount of work you can do for them. So you will take a lower payment per video or per, whatever it is that you are doing for them. So I'm going to put this into okay, working white label for someone else's agency. And the reason why I put it into okay is because yes, you can get a lot of volume of work and you can definitely get paid with this method, but it's, in my opinion, something that doesn't really add much value to the actual end client. Because think about it, like they are getting taxed basically 3 times. First time, they're getting taxed by the actual person who's editing the video, the editor, and who fulfills it, right? Then they're getting taxed by the agency owner who manages that editor and communicates with that person. And then they're getting taxed by the agency they originally paid, who is paying the other agency, who is paying the editor. So they're getting a bunch of fees taken out of the payment that they are paying for the agency. And also just with the communication side of things, it's not really efficient from my experience. There's just a lot of extra steps that are unrequired. So for that reason, I'm not the biggest fan. It doesn't really add that much value, and there's a lot of mess with communication, but it could be a good way for you to get a lot of work when you're just starting out. However, I wouldn't recommend working white label for someone else in the long term. It's not going to be the best way for you to maximize your earning potential, neither as a video editor or as a content agency owner. Although it might seem like a shortcut to getting a bunch of work and leveling up your income a lot, in reality, you are just getting yourself a job. Okay, cool. Next up, we have Upwork. So Upwork is, I'm in between okay and awesome. Upwork is also another job opportunity platform. I'm probably going to put it into awesome if you know how to use it well. So I have a bunch of clients who are getting amazing results on Upwork, who are getting these higher paying jobs, generally speaking, way higher paying than Fiverr. The only thing with Upwork as well is that you are at the mercy of, the platform. So it is in that case or in that regard not the best, but definitely a lot better than Fiverr or a lot of the other online job seeking or project seeking websites or these kind of creative marketplaces. So yeah, overall, I don't have anything against Upwork. I know a lot of people are getting amazing results with it. You definitely need to learn the game rules of Upwork, and you definitely need to build up your profile if you want to be seeing consistent high paying clients from it. And also I would suggest you that once you get a good client from Upwork, try to take it off the platform and sign them as a monthly recurring deal or something like that, so you don't have to pay the fee. And also it's just better if you are staying off of the platform, in my opinion. Try to build up that relationship and go from there. Next up, we have ads. So ads is a difficult one to place because it will depend on how good you are at it as a whole. So if you are really good at running ads, if you're really good at setting up landing pages and so on, then it might be a god tier for you, right? For others, it might be a good way to do it. And for some, it might be, like a really bad way to do it if you don't know it. So I'm going to put it probably into good. The reason why it's not god tier is because it has, I think, a really high learning curve, and also it won't work for everybody's service. So a couple things to keep in mind with ads is that you can burn through a lot of money, especially when you're selling high ticket services. So you got to be prepared, in my opinion. If you're selling anything for over 1,000 a month, you got to have at least 5 to 10 grand to really give yourself the room to learn everything if you're starting from scratch. Because otherwise, if you don't have the budget to spend a couple times your target acquisition cost to make ads work, then you are going to be struggling, generally speaking, right? Also with ads, you will need to learn a lot of different things, not only just how to run the ads, but also how to do good ad creatives, how to do good copywriting. You need to be good with your offer. Everything in general needs to be pretty dialed in for ads to work for agency services. So for that reason, I wouldn't recommend it for beginners. Like I would stay away from it if you are anywhere under 10K a month. But then later on, it can be a great way to get additional clients or to really just scale your agency as a whole. So yeah, that's kind of my view on it, right? Like whether it's God tier, awesome, or a horrible way for you to get clients will depend on your skill sets and kind of where you're at as a whole as an agency owner. Next up, we have cold DMs. So cold DMs, I'm going to put into awesome. The reason why I'm not putting it higher is because, especially over the last year or two, I think the effectiveness has went down a little bit for everyone. But if you're really good at it, you're doing high volume, you're tracking everything, you have good, messages, openers, and so on, you can still get great results with it. Don't get me wrong. In this case, I'm talking about, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, all of these platforms. So yeah, cold DMs are great. They are scalable. It's just that they are not as effective as they used to be because most business owners are getting bombarded in their Instagram DMs at this point. You have to know what you're doing to make it work. But if you know what you're doing, then it's still a great way to get clients, I think. Next up, we have Twitter. So I'm going to put Twitter into the good category. By the way, I think these are actually kind of switched up. It should be this way, right? So awesome should be higher than good. So yeah, and I'm going to put Twitter into awesome as well. I think Twitter is a great platform to get clients on. There's a lot of high quality people there. Although there is competition there as well, I think if you are really good, you can still stand out. And it's also kind of more of a social platform than the other methods, right? So basically, if you enjoy Twitter as a whole, you might be able to even have some fun while you are doing some outreach and connecting with people and setting up some appointments. So I think Twitter is great in general as a platform right now. Next up, we have Mastermind events. So I'm going to put Mastermind events into good. And you might be even thinking like, Vince, Mastermind events is not outreach method. And you're right? In this video, I'm just putting here different methods that you can use and different ways you can get clients. So I have landed clients from Mastermind events, and I have friends who have also landed clients from Mastermind events. And usually it is a pretty smooth interaction if it happens, because the thing is, you are there with the other person, you both paid usually a pretty high entrance fee to be there. So there is that initial trust from just the fact that you are willing to reinvest into your business and you are growth orientated. You usually have the same kind of mindset. So for that reason, it's great for building up connections with people, and you will also spend a lot of time with them. You might even have dinner with them, whatever, right? So it's great for building up trust and connections. And if there is someone at a mastermind who needs your service or who could use it, it's usually a pretty easy sale. Now, I want you to keep in mind though, I don't think it's a good idea to go into masterminds and sign up for them with the intention of like, okay, I have to make X amount of sales from this, because then people will really sense that in you. It's more like you should invest into yourself anyways. You should go into these events anyways. And then if there's any opportunities that rise up from it, that's just an additional extra bonus for you. And it's a great way, to land some amazing clients. Cool. Next up, we have YouTube, and more specifically building up your personal brand on YouTube and getting inbound leads. I'm going to put that into God tier. YouTube is one of my favorite platforms. It is the reason why I'm here today. It's the main platform that we help our clients with as well and help them build a personal brand there. So I'm a big fan of building your personal brand on YouTube. The quality of leads that you can get from YouTube and just the consistency of it as well, once you have built a channel up with SEO, is just unmatched, okay? You will get, generally speaking, way higher quality leads. They have more trust built up with you already because they have consumed, dozens of minutes or even hours of your content prior to getting on a call with you. So I'm a big fan of YouTube. I think everybody should pretty much start a YouTube channel. The only main downside to YouTube is the amount of time it takes you to build up traction there. It can really take, a good few months, sometimes even half a year or a year to start getting leads from it. But then once they start coming, they usually will be pretty consistent, and it can be kind of like a salesperson working on your behalf 24/7. Next up, we have referrals. So referrals and like kind of those kind of partnerships are amazing. I'm going to put them into God tier. The easiest clients you will generally get are from referrals. And it's also a good sign, because if your clients are going out of their way to recommend your service to their friends and other people, then you're probably doing something right for them. So for that reason, I'm a big fan of referrals. I think everybody should set up some form of a referral program as well. So if you're an agency owner or if you're a freelancer, you have happy clients, you should ask them to do a testimonial for you, and you should tell them that, hey, if you can recommend any friends who will sign up for my service, maybe they sign a 3-month contract, whatever it is, right? Then you can get a kickback from it, either via money, or I can do your service for X amount of time for free. That way they are also incentivized to refer you more business. So yeah, referrals are beautiful. And if you are doing really, really well, and if you're really good at what you're doing, you should be able to grow your business just off of referrals alone. Okay. Next up, and last but not least, we have Instagram and building your personal brand on Instagram. So I'm going to put that into the awesome tier. Look, I'm not the biggest person on Instagram, but I still get inbound leads from it. I still think it's a great platform for building up trust with people. And also you can get organic reach, especially if you're using Reels as a form of content. So I think Instagram is great, especially if you're doing daily stories as well, you're doing polls. You can also obviously message people in the DMs and build up trust with them there. So it's another huge pro of Instagram. So I'm a big fan. I think you should do it. So a couple of things to keep in mind. This is just my personal opinion on these. You don't have to agree with me at all. And keep in mind, these things, this list, it might be also dependent from person to person based on where your skills are at this moment. Okay. I'm going to actually put Upwork probably down a little bit to good. I wouldn't put it into the same tier as the other ones there. But yeah, again, this is just my opinion, so keep that in mind. If your opinions differ, that's completely fine. And I hope you found this video insightful. Keep in mind, you don't need to be doing all of these methods at once. I recommend just starting one, mastering it, and then adding the second stream of leads. That's exactly what we did as well. We started with cold emails, and then we started adding other things as well. So hope you found this video insightful. If you want help with growing your creative agency, check the link below this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.